He married me because I was quiet. Because I didn't ask questions. Because I didn't open certain doors. But the thing about silence. It listens. And eventually, it remembers. By the time he realized what I'd seen, it was already too late. We didn't fight on our wedding night. There was no dramatic moment. No raised voices. No tears. Just a quiet that felt off. Not tired, not peaceful, just hollow. We came back from the hotel ballroom sometime after midnight. He carried my bag up the stairs. I remember thinking how perfect everything looked, how silent the house was, how tightly he smiled when I touched his arm. He helped me out of my dress. I stepped into the bathroom, took a deep breath, looked at myself in the mirror, hair falling, lipstick faded, rings on my finger. And when I came back to the bedroom, he was already under the sheets. Not waiting. Just lying there, eyes closed. I didn't expect fireworks. But I didn't expect that either. We didn't talk. Not really. He said, "Long day." I nodded. He turned away, and that was it. The next morning, he made coffee. Toast. Said he had to check in on some emails. "No, how do you feel?" "No, last night was perfect." No new husband glow. I told myself it was nerves. Exhaustion. The come down after too much planning. But I felt something. Not in my stomach, deeper. A wall. Not cold. Just, placed. Quietly. Between us. That night, I tried again. Put on something soft. Sat closer. He smiled. Kissed my forehead. Told me I didn't have to try so hard. "We're married now," he said. "We can relax." So I did. I relaxed. I waited. I told myself it would settle. I didn't know that was the beginning of the pattern. A man who looked like a husband, acted like a husband, but never really let me in. We moved into his house 2 days after the wedding. It was already furnished, his things, his style, his layout. He made space for my clothes. Cleared a drawer. Told me to make it feel like home. But everything already had a place. And none of it felt like mine. There was one room downstairs, a door just off the hallway near the kitchen. It was always closed. Not locked, just, quietly sealed off from the rest of the house. The first time I tried to open it, he stopped me. "That's just storage," he said. "Old tools, boxes, junk I haven't sorted through." I let it go. There were more important things to focus on, paperwork, changing my last name, getting through the thank you cards. Still, the door stayed closed. He traveled often. 2-day work trips. Sometimes 3. When he left, the house felt quieter, but not lonelier. Just easier to breathe in. When he came back, it was always the same. A hug. A smile. A box of chocolate or tea. And then the distance again. Like he was doing his part, and then resetting. I tried to tell myself I was lucky. He didn't yell. Didn't cheat, as far as I could tell. Paid the bills. Brought groceries. Asked about my day. But it felt like I'd married a role, not a person. Like he was playing a version of himself on loop. I found old photos once. In the guest room closet. A stack of printed shots in a shoebox labeled miscellaneous. He and a woman. Same house. Same kitchen tiles. Same smile. They looked comfortable. Familiar in a way we weren't. There was no name written on the back. I put them away. That night, I asked about the photos. He didn't flinch. X years ago. We lived here for a while. She left. Didn't work out. No detail. No bitterness. Just, she left. And then, "You're not like her. You're calmer." "That's good." I nodded. Even though it didn't feel like a compliment. It felt like a setup. His mother invited us over 2 weeks after the wedding. Dinner. Sunday evening. Just the 4 of us, her, his sister, him, and me. She hugged me at the door, but her arms barely touched me. "You look tired," she said. I suppose that's normal in the beginning. She poured wine for everyone except me, then looked at my glass and added, "Oh, right, you're not pregnant yet, are you?" Dinner was formal, quiet, civil. They asked questions about my job, but didn't wait for the answers. Laughed at stories I wasn't part of. Talked about the old days and holidays before things changed. At first, I assumed they just needed time to warm up. But they weren't cold. They were polite, perfectly polite. Which is worse? His sister brought up an ex. Slipped her name into a story like it was normal. Remember when Lauren broke that chair during charades? God, She was so clumsy. He chuckled. His mom smiled. I sipped water and stayed quiet. No one corrected the subject. No one changed it. They didn't forget her. They just didn't care if I noticed. When we got home, I said something. It's strange how often they mention her. He shrugged. She was around for a long time. Don't take it personally. Then he kissed me on the forehead, the kind of kiss you give a child, not a wife, and went upstairs. A few days later, a package arrived. From his mom. A slow cooker. With a note. For something simple and safe. In case you get overwhelmed. No return address. Just her handwriting. I didn't say anything. Because by then, I'd already learned. He doesn't like conflict. And he won't stop them for me. He left on a Thursday. Said it was a last-minute work thing, 2 nights, maybe 3. Some meetings with a client outside the city. I packed his bag. Watched him double-check the locks. He kissed me like it was automatic. Don't wait up, he said. Signal's usually bad where I'm going. The first night, I texted him around 8 p.m. No reply. Midnight. Nothing. By morning, I was refreshing the chat, checking if the message had been read. It hadn't. Day 2, same silence. I called once. Then twice. Straight to voicemail. On the 3rd morning, I woke up to a message. 1 line. Sorry, battery died. All good. Be home late. No details. No apology. Just a reset, like the quiet hadn't happened. He came home with a box of pastries and a new scarf for me. Felt like you'd like this color, he said, holding it up like it fixed something. I smiled. Thanked him. But I noticed something small. Something stupid. He smelled like cologne he didn't own. That night, he showered while I cleaned out his travel bag. Inside, the usual. Socks. Shirt. An empty charger case. And a receipt. Hotel minibar. 2 glasses of wine. A charcuterie plate. For 2. Time stamped at 11:47 p.m. The same night he said his phone had died. I didn't bring it up. Not because I didn't care. But because I wanted to see how long he could lie like that. The next morning, he made pancakes. Kissed my cheek. Asked if I wanted to go to the farmer's market. Just like that. Like nothing had happened. That's when it hit me. The lie wasn't the worst part. The worst part was how natural it felt for him. Like I wasn't even worth deceiving properly. He forgot to lock it. Just once. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was careless. Or maybe he still believed I wouldn't cross that line, that I was the kind of wife who'd follow rules she didn't agree with. I waited until he left for the store. Watched his car pull out of the driveway. Then I opened the door. The room was exactly what I expected, and nothing I was ready for. It wasn't storage. No boxes. No tools. No dust. Just memory. Organized, intentional, haunting memory. A standing mirror leaned against the far wall. Next to it, a rack of clothes. Women's clothes. Not mine. Dresses. Sweaters. A pair of shoes that looked too small for anyone I knew. Everything clean, folded, preserved. A small vanity table. Makeup brushes. An open jewelry box. A single earring left on top. On the desk, a photo. Not framed, not hidden. Just sitting there. Him. And her. She was smiling. Sitting on his lap. Her hands tucked under his. Same man. Same room. Different woman. The back of the photo said, in neat handwriting, home, finally. I took photos of everything. Didn't touch a thing. Didn't take a thing. Just documented it. Then closed the door. Carefully. That night, he came home like nothing happened. Asked if I wanted Thai or Indian for dinner. I said I wasn't hungry. He kissed my shoulder and turned on the TV. I didn't sleep. Not because I was angry. But because I realized. He wasn't haunted by her. He was curating her. Keeping her alive in that room, and asking me to live beside it. It happened on a Thursday. We were half asleep. Lying in bed, lights off, TV still playing in the background. His hand was resting on my waist. A quiet moment. Nothing strange. And then he whispered it. Lauren. Soft. Barely audible. But not my name. I didn't move. Didn't speak. Just stayed still. I wanted to believe it was a dream. A slip. Something from a movie. A memory he didn't mean to say out loud. But it wasn't. Because the way his fingers tensed right after. The way he held his breath. Told me he knew. And he didn't correct himself. The next morning, I made coffee. sat at the kitchen table, waited. He came down like nothing happened, kissed my forehead, asked how I slept. I said, fine. And that was it. That day, I stopped being a wife. Not legally. Not publicly. But privately, I disappeared. I still smiled. Still answered questions. Still made the grocery list. Still cooked dinner. But inside, I was gone. Because I wasn't living in a marriage. I was standing in a museum built for someone else. And I'd been hired to dust the exhibits. I started moving things. Quietly. Removing my clothes from the closet. Backing up my files. Setting cash aside. Checking apartments. Watching him when he thought I wasn't. I waited for the right moment. Because I didn't want to leave messy. I wanted to leave clean. Like I was never there at all. I called his sister on a Monday. We hadn't spoken in weeks, not since she sent a birthday text with no punctuation and no warmth. I asked her to meet. Neutral ground. A cafe near the university where she worked. She showed up 5 minutes late, wearing sunglasses she didn't take off. Didn't hug me. Didn't ask how I was. Just said, "What's this about?" I didn't ease into it. Didn't sugarcoat. Just asked, "Who is Lauren?" For a moment, nothing. No twitch. No gasp. Just the faintest freeze in her jaw. Then she looked away. Took a slow sip of coffee. And said, "You're not the first. And you probably won't be the last." Just like that. Like it was common knowledge. Like I'd asked about the weather. I leaned forward. "What do you mean?" She sighed. "He cycles through people. When Lauren left, he didn't take it well. Then there was someone else. Then you. And maybe someone next." I stared at her. "Why didn't you say anything?" Another sip. Another shrug. "He's my brother." That was it. That was all I needed to hear. Not because of what she said. But because of what she didn't. No defense. No denial. No fake surprise. Just indifference. Complicity. They all knew. I left the cafe without saying goodbye. Went home. Opened the drawer with the documents I'd already gathered. Changed the locks on my bank accounts. Cancelled the shared credit card. Booked a mover. Gave myself 3 days. No more waiting. No more watching. Just one exit. Final. Quiet. Sharp. He noticed the suitcase on the second day. I'd packed slowly. Subtly. A drawer here, a closet there. But eventually, the quiet adds up. He walked into the bedroom. Stared at the half-empty shelf. The open luggage. "What's this?" I didn't look up. "You know what this is." He stood there for a moment. Then sat on the edge of the bed like a man preparing for surgery. "Look, I know I've been distant. I know I've made mistakes." I waited. "But you knew who I was. You knew what I needed." That stopped me. "What you needed?" He nodded, with that same calm he always used when trying to sound reasonable. "You were stable. You didn't ask for much. That's what I needed after her. After her. Like I'd been hired to clean up someone else's damage. So I was just, convenient." He hesitated. Then, finally, gave me the only honest sentence he ever said. "You were easy to keep." That was it. Not a confession. A calculation. He didn't love me. He chose me because I made things smooth, quiet, manageable. And now that I wasn't, now that I'd found the door, he had no use for words. Just another woman packing a suitcase. I zipped the bag, stood up. "She was here first," I said. "But I'm the one who leaves last." And then I walked out. I left it on the kitchen counter. Not out of spite. Not for drama. Just because I wanted him to see it before he called anyone, before he rewrote the ending. It was a plain white envelope. No name. No note. Inside were 3 things. First, the printed photo of the basement, the one with her clothes, her shoes, her memory carefully preserved like a shrine. Second, the text message I got from his sister after our meeting. 1 line. "He never really let go of Lauren. You were just next." Third, a single sentence, handwritten by me. "You don't get to keep people like furniture. Some of us walk out. Some of us burn the house down quietly." I never saw his reaction. Never heard what excuse he gave. But I know he lost things, more than just me. Word spread. His job relied on image, trust, control. The kind of career that doesn't survive scandal, especially not the kind where you keep a locked room full of your ex's belongings and let your wife live next to it in silence. The gallery community dropped him. Clients stopped returning calls. Even his family pulled back, not because they cared, Because it became inconvenient to defend him. As for me, I moved into a place with windows that faced the sunrise. No locked doors. No basement. No history I hadn't chosen. The quiet felt different now. Not forced. Not lonely. Just, earned. That was my ending. No confrontation. No screaming. Just the sound of one door closing, and none of them following.